Not every movie needs to be Citizen Kane. Sometimes audiences need something light and fluffy so they can forget their worries and just come out of the theater with a smile. That's the statement Kate Hudson has made in defense of her romantic comedy run, which may have generated solid box office, but was met with less than favorable reactions from critics. In defending her rom-com run, Hudson wants to remind critics that they weren't trying to win awards. During a chat with Entertainment Weekly, Hudson spoke about the negative reviews some of her romantic comedies endured despite them being more warmly received by moviegoers. Films such as How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, 42% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the trifecta of Fool's Gold, Bride Wars, and Something Borrowed, 15% on Rotten Tomatoes, became a staple of Hudson's career, despite the displeasure some critics had watching them. Coming to the defense of the rom-com, the actress thinks they should lighten up and realize who they are being made for. Kate Hudson is a celebrated actress who is praised for her bubbly and endearing personality, having first rose to prominence in Almost Famous. I think the critic has changed. In the movie world, critics who are looking at things with a certain microscope might sometimes not be looking at it as what people need. The critic has changed, meaning the whole world is a critic now. When you're making a movie to feel a certain way, I call it a spectrum. Who are you making them for? Are you making it for the critic? Are you making it for the people? You try to make the best movie possible, telling the story that you're trying to tell. If you're trying to think about it as who you're trying to please, you're probably going to miss. If I was set out to make Bride Wars or Something Borrowed to be some critically acclaimed, Oscar campaign-worthy film, it would be a very different movie. I also think people don't realize how hard it is to get a movie like that made and enjoyed. While Hudson has more than proven herself as a worthy actress, most notably in her Oscar-nominated turn in Almost Famous, the actress became a significant figure in romantic comedies when they once ruled the box office. While most have been regulated to streaming now because of diminishing returns, the exception being the $220 million global hit Anyone But You from 2023, Hudson's run back in the day was pretty successful, at least financially. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days pulled in $177.5 million worldwide in 2003 on a $50 million budget, despite rotten reviews from critics. Even films like Fool's Gold, which were less financially successful, still grossed a solid $111.2 million globally. Critics may not have been wowed by these movies, but audiences found something to enjoy. Some of the cinema scores, which is a poll taken of opening day audiences seeing movies on any given weekend, prove this for the films. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days pulled in an A cinema score against its 42% on Rotten Tomatoes. Fool's Gold registered a B cinema score, but that's far better than its 15% on Rotten Tomatoes indicates, while Bride Wars, A, and Something Borrowed, B, also proved more favorable with moviegoers. I'd say Kate Hudson has a great point about how these films should be received.